Hi friends, good day. Hope you might have gone through the format of P&L account and balance sheet. Today, let me start with the two problems on P&L account. It's only about you people going through the format, one or two days, one or two classes. I think one or two problems. If you go through it, I think definitely you'll be in a better position for doing it. And only thing you should remember that this is final accounts, normal final accounts, any final account. But you should understand the nature of banking activities, and and then basically, if you look at this, like if you look at the format of P&L account, you know that we are having two things: interest on advances and our discount is income for them, and then you'll be also having interest on investments. Am I right? I think those two things will definitely is an advantage for you. If you remember that format, it looks very simple. It looks very simple. So, what is that you need to practice a lot is that interest earned, interest earned is nothing but on generally like cash credit. Yeah, we had discussion on that. Demand loans, overdraft, export loans, term loans, and then a discount on advances bills like discounting of a bill, etc. And the second basic income is income on investments. Income on investment is a very important thing. Like income on investments can be like interest on bonds, or it can be a dividend also. Okay, then we'll be left out with uh, interest. Sometimes may also may have interest on balances with Reserve Bank of India and um, other interbank funds. I think this also can be taken as Schedule 13. Others like discount income and include in the above includes any other interest slash discount income not included in the above. I think profit on sale of investment, etc., can be taken as that, right? Uh, and then uh, profit on sale of investment, we got a separate schedule. Apart from that, interest and discount, if anything is there, that can be taken as a schedule 13 only. Schedule 14 is about other income. When you look at the other income, I told you already, commission, exchange, brokerage, and profit on sale of investment, loss on sale of investment, profit on revaluation of investment, etc. So I think 13 schedule is about income earned, and then we got other income. Okay, expenditure, coming back to this interest expended. Generally, on you need to pay interest on deposits, and generally you may also sometimes need to pay interest on Reserve Bank of India interbank borrowings, etc. I think this will be coming under interest expended. And then we got operating expenses. For this we have discussed already. Normally whatever we show in profit and loss account. So basically two things: interest received, interest paid, or interest earned, interest incurred. Okay, and then in that income part we are having one more item is called as like interest on income from investments, right? Income from investments. And then uh, and also sometimes like if you are getting interest on balances with RBA, our balance with RBA, RBA needs to pay interest, that also can be taken into consideration. Okay. So then we got profit on sale of investment. I told you for schedule 14. Um, Other income can be taken as profit on sale of investment, and also commission, exchange, brokerage, profit on revaluation of investment. And interest expended part is interest on deposits or interest on RBI, Reserve Bank of India, interbank borrowings, etc. Operating expenses basically, as I told you, the expenses relating to employees, salaries, rent, renting stationery, advertising, publicity, depreciation on bank property, director fees, auditor fee, law charges, postage, repairs, maintenance, insurance, and other expenditure. Okay, so let us take out one problem. We work out this now today. Uh, from the following ledger balances, prepare a P&L account of Canny Bank Limited as on 31st March 2013. Now here I have to, for you to easily identify, just have written the schedules with red pen. Interest and discount, I think you know where it goes. Schedule 13. Hmm. Income from investments, where it goes. Schedule 13. Interest on balances with RBI will go to schedule 13. Commission, exchange and brokerage, schedule 14. Profit on sale of investment, we have discussed already, schedule 14. Interest on deposit, that means you need to pay, schedule 15. Interest to RBI payable, schedule 15. Payment to and provision for employees, schedule 16. This comes under operating expenses. Okay. Then rent, taxes and lighting, schedule 16. Printing and stationery, schedule 16. Advertisement and publicity, 16. Depreciation, 16. Director fees, 16. Auditors fees, 16. Law charges, 16. Postage, telegrams and telephone is also 16. Insurance, 16. Repairs and maintenance, 16. Bad debts we treat as a other expenses, that comes under the format, you know that we have learned already. PRP, all prio, I think you remember that format. PRP, add all prio. PRP, add all prio, remember that. PRP means payment to and provision for employees. R, rent, taxes and lighting. P, printing and stationery. A, advertisement and publicity. D, depreciation. I repeat once again. PRP, add, then all prio. A, auditor's fee. L, law charges. uh, P, postage. R, repairs. I, insurance. O, other expenditure. So bad debts can be taken as other expenditure. Then we also got some information here. Interest and discount mentioned above is after adjust for the following. Interest and discount mentioned above is after adjustment of the following. That interest and discount given here, this 3045, is after adjusting. You cannot adjust tax provision for the year, no, from that. So that is not to be taken. So it is to be added back. Provision during the year for doubtful debts also need not be adjusted there. It is also to be added back. Loss on sale of investment also, it is to be added back because they have wrongly deducted from the particular uh, heading. Rebate on bills discounted. Yes, rebate on bills discounted, you know, is nothing but unexpected discount. That is simply simple words. Income received in advance. So it is to be deducted from. It is to be deducted from interest and discount. That is, discount is included interest. No, it is correct. So then, how to show these items? That is important point. The simple words is that, sir, where these items will go. Okay. So where these items will go? Which one? Two adjustments. Tax provision. Tax provision. Where it goes? That comes under provisions and contingencies. In expenditure format, you are having provisions and contingencies. Then tax provision is clear to you. Provision for doubtful debts also will go under the heading provisions and contingencies. Then, loss on sale of investment is to be adjusted against concerned item. So, is this clear? So, that by mistakenly it is an error that is to be corrected now. Then, actually, in the problem, they are given 25% of the profit. I told you under section 17 of the Banking Regulation Act, latest information is 20%. But I think in the study material also they have taken as 25%. Maybe they are not updated. If 25% is given, you calculate according to the instruction that is being given in the problem. If current year profit is to transfer to statutory reserve means you should take 20%. Okay, is this clear? So you remember 20%. However, if like you got that information, you write a note. The problem has been worked out basing upon the instruction given there. Otherwise, we need to calculate 20% of profit which is to be transferred to statutory reserve. That note, if you write, I think you can score marks. Here, it doesn't make a difference. Current year profit, what are the current year profit you are having after deducting income from expenditure? Okay, income from expenditure. On that, you need to calculate 25%. 25%, actually 20%. But in the problem, since instruction was given as 25%, we are working out. Then next, 5% of profit is transferred to revenue reserve. I think whenever we are transferring any amount towards any reserve, be it statutory or any other reserve, please remember that it is to be transferred from current year profits and profit brought forward from last year. Like you might have seen the last class profit and loss account format. Point number one is income, point number two is expenditure, point number three is profit or loss. In profit or loss, net profit for the year. Net profit for the year is income minus expenditure is net profit for year. And profit brought forward here. Profit brought forward is how much? 16. These two will become profit or loss. Okay, it can be a loss, but here we are getting profit. So I think if you can get profit, you can take as a profit. So brought forward, then you will be getting Roman 3. From that appropriation, what is the appropriation? 20% of profit is transferred to statutory reserve that is being given in the material. Since 25% has been given, we are working out the problem. Okay, and then 5% profit to revenue reserve. Okay, then from the total profit, if you deduct the balance is carried to balance sheet. Generally, you can expect this problem like 8 marks or 10 marks. You can easily do. Right, now we see this, how it has been worked out. First, we need to go to working notes now. See, like we in company accounts, we used to call as a notes. Here, we'll be using the word schedule. Okay, so like a notes to account, here it is schedule. Right. Even in the company accounts also, prior to Companies Act 2013, in revised schedule 16 old format, we used to use the word schedule even for company accounts. Okay, now I think that is clear to you. Will be there, you'll be like notes to notes 1 share capital, notes to like that. Here we'll be using the word schedule. Okay, that is the difference. Is this clear? No need to panic about it. Schedule, that is interest earned. I have already told you interest and discount 30/45. What are the items that has been adjusted from 30/45? I have told you already, tax provision for the year 220. Okay, 102 provision during the year for doubtful debts and loss on sale of investment. These three have been adjusted from income earned. So that is the reason why you are adding it back. I told you already. 220 is about tax provision that will be taken to provisions and contingencies. 102 is about um, the provision for uh, doubtful debts that is to be taken to provisions and contingencies in expenditure. Instead of doing that, what they have done, there is nothing wrong in that, you will be getting the answer, but it is not an appropriate heading. Okay, so I think that is the reason they have added. Okay, what about 12? Loss on sale of investment. Loss on sale of investment is to be adjusted from profit on sale of investment, but they have by mistakenly they have deducted. Okay, so now if you look at the total interest and discount, it is coming to 3379, that is in thousands. Thousand means 33 lakh 79,000. Okay. Income on investment has been given as 115. That I already we have already seen that. And interest on balances with RBI, other interest on balance with RBI and other banks is 180. So we don't have any others. So total is interest and this 3674. In interest and column, we are having these four headings. Okay, we are having these four headings. Now, similarly, you can go for Schedule 14 other income. Commission, exchange, and brokerage. That's clear. Profit on sale of investment. I told you we had a lengthy lecture on that. You need to go twice or twice or thrice. So, less loss on sale of investment is to be adjusted, subtracted. Sometimes loss is more than the profit on sale of investment. Excuse me, then it should be kept in brackets as a negative item. Okay, so profit on sale of investment, then you may be getting a question, sir, how you get profit on sale of investment, how you get loss on sale of investment. On some investments you will be getting profit, on some investment you may be getting a loss. You have seen that in investment account, you remember that. Okay, so there's a possibility. Okay, now this is clear to you. Now we have to move to interest expended. Interest expended straightforward, you don't have any adjustment. Interest expended is coming to 12 lakhs 25,000. That is interest on deposits. Okay. Then interest on RBI interbank borrowings is coming to 160. So interest expended total is 13 lakhs 85,000. Now come back to operating expenses. Next, schedule 16. In operating expenses, I told you already, uh, unless the problem is simple, even if you don't write PRP, add al prio. But I think if you can remember better, it won't take much time. Then you can pick up the item. Otherwise, you need to search. Generally, better to follow. But sometimes they may not be following the format. No need to worry about it. But I think better to follow the format given 13, 14, 15, 16 so that you can pick up the items very quickly. 13, 14, 15 is not an issue. Only 16 you should be looking at it. So what he has done simply first he has written the format. Payment to and provision for employees P, RP, rent taxes and lighting. This PRP all prior for you to remember, my dear friends. It's not there in the book. Don't confuse. Huh? It is only for you to remember the operating expenses. So R, rent, taxes and lighting. P, printing and stationery. A, ad. A start with A, letter A with advertisement publicity. D, depreciation. Again one more D, director fees. All PSN, audit fees, law charges, postage and telegrams, telephones, repairs and maintenance. P, all PO. R, I, insurance, other expenditure. I think I've already given there while looking at the problem, they with red pen mark, I have already marked these things. So payment to and provision for employees is 10 lakhs 44,000. Okay. Then rent, taxes and lighting 2 lakhs 10,000. Printing and stationery 1 lakh 80,000. Advertisement and publicity 95,000. Depreciation on bank property 92,000. Directors fees allowances, auditors fees and expenses including branch auditors, large charges, postage, telegram, repairs and maintenance, insurance, and bad debts has been taken as other expenditure. So you got schedule 16 also. Okay. Now let us come back to the solution. This is what. This is you've seen company file account, same thing. Can Bank Limited profit and loss. But there we call the statement. Here we'll be calling as a P&L account. Profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March 2013. Income, interest earned, you already calculated schedule 13 there. And in schedule 13 separate, it's like a working notes. Other income schedule 14, you got it total. Expenditure, interest expended 13 lakhs 85,000. Operating expenses 23 lakhs 65. You already done that. Provisions and contingencies, I told you. In provision and contingencies, two items will appear, I told you. Tax provision and provision for doubtful debts. 220 plus 102 is coming to 322. So now to get the profit or loss for the current year, what is that you should do? 4592 minus 4072. Then you will be getting the profit. What is the profit? 520. You can cross check by taking the calculator. 4592 minus 4072. You are getting a profit of 520. And profit brought forward was given in the problem. It is 16 lakhs. So 5 lakhs 36,000. The transfer to statutory reserve is at the rate of 25%. I told you here in place of 25%, we can multiply with how much? 20% also. But the problem has been worked out as per the instruction given in the question. Otherwise, you can take statutory reserve. Latest is 20%, but I think this is old version. So no problem. Even the study material also, I told you, they're giving 25%. If specifically they're giving 25%, calculate. If nothing is mentioned, you take 20%. Is this clear to all of you? If nothing is mentioned, you take 20% of current year profit. Please remember 20% of current year profit. That is why I mentioned here. What is current year profit? 520. Why I have taken 25%? Because in the instruction they have given like that. Otherwise, we can take 20%. Transfer to other resource at 5%. That is also on current year profit. Then 536 minus 120, 130 plus 26 if you take out, then balance carried to balance sheet. Is this clear? This is what the problem was about. Now this balance carried balance sheet will go to reserves, right? So you can work out this problem and we can move on to the next one. Hope you all are following this. It's only depending upon your remembering the things. Uh, Before I start, just you can have a look at it. From the following information, prepare a P&L account of Het Arth Bank, Het Arth Bank Limited for the year ended 31st March 2013. Also give the necessary schedules. Okay. P&L account they are asking also necessary schedules. That means it's a part and parcel of the problem. You can go through this. They have written this. Then I'll start explaining this. Okay. Now, then we got some substandard, make necessary provision on risk assets, substandard, doubtful for 1 year, doubtful for 2 years, loss assets. I think you all are aware what kind of provision we need to maintain that you have learned already. Okay. Now coming back to this. Interest earned on term loans. We'll go to where? Schedule 13. Interest on term loans classified as NPA. In the very beginning, we have done uh, given some notes. I think we have started model number one on performing asset income on performing asset is recognized on accrual basis, whether or not realized. We have learned that. But here we are having interest on term loans classified as NPA. Interest earned means simple words outstanding but not received. Earn means received or receivable. Simple words. Received and receivable, I told you. Incurred means paid or payable. You remember that name? Number of times I have told you. Incurred means paid or payable, paid and payable. Earned means received or receivable, received and received. Now the point is that interest earned on term loan classified as NPA. Now my dear friends, interest earned on term loans classified as NPA will not be recognized on accrual basis. So 4.52, whatever has been given is earned. Earned. It means received or receivable. Since we got two things, interest received, interest earned. Earned means receivable. Here, for this problem, the context of the problem. Interest received is cash received. Now, I think 17.26 is including 4.52. But out of 4.52, how much has been received if you assume interest earned means it includes received also, no? Generally. So 2.4, 2 lakhs 4,000. So 4.52 lakhs including 2.4 lakhs. So I think you can easily do it. 17.26 minus from 4.52 you should deduct how much? 2.04. That means out of 4.52 earned, how much has been received? 2.2 lakhs 4,000 has been received. So balance is yet to be received. For NPA, unless you receive it in cash, it cannot be recognized as income. So please remember, I'll do one thing here. Here you should understand. (4.52) minus 2.04. 4.52 minus 2.04. You can do the calculation taking the calculator. 4.52 minus 2.04. It is coming to how much? 2.48. 2.48 is interest not yet received. So you cannot recognize how much 2.48. So therefore, what is to be done? 17.26 minus 2.48. If you deduct how much you'll be getting? 14.78. So in schedule 13, what is that you should do? 17.26 minus 2.48. What is 2.48, sir? What is 2.48? Tell me. 2.48 is income earned but not received. So this 4.52 is including 2.04. 2.04 has been received, no problem. So what is not received? 2.48. The 2.48 is including interest earned on term loans. Therefore, how much is to be taken to interest earned in schedule 13, my dear friends? 17.26 minus 2.48. It is coming to something like 14.78. Is this clear? 14.78. Okay. So you got the clarity on this? Right. So shall I erase it? Okay. Next. Interest on cash, credit, and overdraft. The same thing I have given has been given as a working notes here. No need to worry about it. How you got it? Here written. Interest slash discount and advance bills. Interest on term loan 17.26. This is interest earned minus cash received. Balance not received. Therefore, to be deducted. Okay. Next. I'll come back to the next problem. Next point. Then interest on cash credits and overdrafts. I think this you can answer. Interest on cash credits and overdraft is 38.54. Interest earned but not received on cash credit and overdraft is as NPA. I told you interest earned but not received means you cannot take. I think this is very straightforward. 38.54 here. Here also we should do like this. 38 point from 54 you must deduct how much? 8.39 is to be subtracted. Then 38.54 minus 8.39, 38.54 minus 8.39, it is coming to 30.15. Is this clear? It is coming to 30.15. The 30.15 is to be taken as interest on cash credit and overdraft because income earned cannot be recognized in case of NPA. But performing assets we can record. Is this clear? Right. Now let me erase this. Okay. Then interest on deposits, where we will go to schedule 15. Commission 14. Profit on sale of investment 14. Profit on revaluation of investment 14. Income from investment 13. Salaries, bonus and allowances 16. Rent, taxes and lighting 16. Printing stationery 16. Director fees, allowances, expenses 16. Law charges 16. Repairs and maintenance comes under 16. Insurance also 16. Now, make necessary provision on risk assets. Substandard. I'm giving time. Substandard 15 lakhs. Doubtful for 1 year 7 lakhs. Doubtful for 2 years 2.40. Loss assets 0.65. Now I'm giving 2 minutes time. Can you quickly calculate and tell me what is the provision to be maintained on substandard, doubtful for 1 year, etc. You know that if you want to recollect what we have learned, okay, recollected this. Substandard, what is the percentage? Let me take this again. Substandard, my dear friends, 15%. Am I right? Doubtful for 1 year. You remember doubtful for 1 year, 25%. Doubtful for 2 years, 40%. Loss assets, you remember this. Substandard, what is the provision? 15% of 15 lakhs. Doubtful for 1 year, 25% on 7 lakhs. Doubtful for 2 years, 40%. More than 3 years is 100%. But this is doubtful for 2 years, 40%. Last assets how much? 100%. Okay, right. So I think you got the clarity. For this, you need to do working notes. Okay. Okay. Next, investments. About investment, I wish to for you to remember that we are having some points where we have learned investments can be held to maturity, and uh, then next week held for trading, available for sale. So what is the meaning of this? This I have already explained. We have learned that, but let me, since problem has come, before I go for that particular explanation of investment, let me uh, explain few things about held to maturity. Securities acquired by banks with the intention to hold them up to maturity should be classified as held to maturity. Under held to maturity category, should not exceed 25% of the total investment of the bank. Though a bank can, at its discretion, hold less than aforesaid percentage, certain securities specified in this behalf of are not to be reckoned while applying the ceiling of 25% in respect of held to maturity security. That means bank should not keep more than 25% of investments as held for maturity. If you want, you can have less than 25%. And the market value of its best is 75%. Investment is 9 lakhs. That means out of 3,700, that is 37,000 lakhs, 75% of investment whose market value is how much I tell you? 9 lakhs. So what is that we should do now? You can again let me show the calculation here. So in this case, what is to be done here is investments 3,700 into 75%. Take the calculator, work out 3,700 into 75%, coming to 2,2775. That is 27 lakh 75,000. What is the market value now? 9 lakhs. That means 27 lakh 70. Why you are not done 100%? Because held to maturity should not keep more than 25% of investment as held to maturity. Held to maturity means the investment, the purpose of investment is to wait till the maturity so that amount can be realized. And they are saying that you should look at 25% only to be kept as investment to be shown in book value. 75%, if you look at it, is coming to, as I told you, it is coming to 27 lakh 75,000. The 27 lakh 75,000 today value is 9 lakhs. 9 lakhs. If you deduct that, you'll be getting 18 lakhs 75,000 is permanent diminution in the value of investment. Is this clear? That is nothing but permanent diminution in the value of investments. I think this is what the important point is about investments. Okay. Now, I think you got the clarity on this. We got three classification of investment you learned: held to maturity, held for trading, held for sale. Like 3 points you got that in the material. If you want, you can see that if I'm not wrong, I think I've noted somewhere the page number also for you to go through it quickly. somewhere. I don't remember the page number. I'll show you by the time I finish up the class. You learn that investment category maybe in second unit or third unit. Just a minute. Yeah, it is in unit number 3, classification of investments. So in that, I think my old book is page number 10.74 approximately. Held to maturity, available for sale, held for trading. Three categories we are having. Like diagrammatic representation they have given you there, and held for trading or available for sale. You cannot maintain more than 75%. Is this clear? You cannot maintain more than 75% of the total as a uh, the value to be taken in the books of accounts. Now here in this case, held to maturity, it is how much? 25%. Okay, right. Now we have to go to the working out of the problem. Okay, now let us see this. This already I have explained you the notes. If you want, you can see how you calculated. I have already explained. This cash received is included 4.52. That means 4.52 minus 2.04. I have told you already. 4.52 minus 2.04 is nothing but 2.48 is not received. Earned but not received. That is a 17.26. How much you should deduct? 2.48. Then you will be getting 14.78. Similarly, interest on cash credits also, interest earned but not received. Here we don't have any cash. In this case, we don't have any cash. So directly, whatever income that has been earned but not received has been deducted. So what is the income to be recognized is for non-performing asset. I repeat once again. I hope you all are following. Non-performing asset income is to recognize only if it is received rather than it is earned. I have written here also, interest on NPA is not recognized unless cash is received. Okay, right. Then it is also mentioned here, interest on non-performing assets is recognized on receipt basis. Then income on investment has been given in the problem. You can see what is income on investment that has been given, 15.53. Okay. Then other income, commission, exchange, brokerage, profit on sale of investment, profit on revaluation of investment. In this problem, we don't have any like sale. Interest expended, interest on deposits. Okay. Then PRP add Alprio. Here what he has done, the items which has not been there has been taken out. But for you to remember, better it won't take more than 1 minute. If you can write the format, you can easily insert the value. If you don't have value, put dash mark. So payment to provision for employees, then salaries, bonus and allowances 18.75, rent, taxes, lighting. This I've already written with red pen, red mark, red mark, red pen. Sorry, printing and stationery, directors' fees, law charges, repairs and maintenance, insurance. So it is coming to 23.23. Now next one, provisions and contingencies. This I already told you. Substandard, how much we should take, 15 lakhs into 15%. Substandard. Doubtful for 1 year, I told you 25%. Doubtful for 2 years, 40%. Loss assets, 100%, 5.61. And this decrease in the value of investment also I have told you, 25% will not be touched. Only 75% for which we compare with the market value. Market value is 9 lakhs, whereas book value is 27 lakhs 75,000. So investment which is held to maturity has come down to uh, come down to 9 lakhs rather. So what is the decrease in the value of asset? 27 lakh 75,000 has become 9 lakhs. So there is a decrease in the value of current investment by 18 lakh 75,000. If you add 5.61 plus 18 lakh 75,000, you are getting 18 lakhs 80,000, 80,000, 18 lakhs 80, 80, 80 18 lakhs 80,610 rupees something like. Okay, so I think this is what is about your problem. Now 18 lakhs 80,000 18 lakhs 80,610. So this is clear to you. Now we can move on to uh, we can go for solution now. But one more thing, when we are calculating provision for non-performing asset, we have assumed all these things as secured. This also we have learned, my dear friends. It is assumed that all substandard doubtful assets are fully secured. Generally, even in the problem it is not given, you have to recollect, recapitulate whatever you have learned. A non-performing asset, we shall assume they are all secured. Now, 75 for investment other than held for maturity have been marked to market as per RBI guidelines. It is also there in the study material. I have to also given the page number. Now, coming back to this, the solution, we got everything. This is simple. Once if you can prepare schedule, interest earned 60 lakhs 46,000, other income 16 lakh 49,000. Then comes expenditure 27 lakhs 20,000 and 23 lakhs 23,000. Operating expenses completed. Provisions and contingencies. I think this is 1 crore 88 lakhs 61,000. Right. Okay. Anyhow, so then it is coming to 19 lakhs 19.1931.04. Profit or loss. How you'll be getting profit or loss? I think profit or loss is this income minus expenditure. You are getting negative value. So when you are getting negative value from where, when you are getting positive value, you can create a statutory reserve. Since you are getting a loss, you don't have any brought forward also. Appropriation is nil. So balance carried to balance sheet is also nil. Is this clear, my dear friends? So this is all about your um, um, preparation of profit and loss account. You need bit of practice for these things. I think you can easily do it. You can see the solution. I've given the working notes also clearly mentioned there. You can, since you got the solution with you, whenever you feel like looking at it, you can see this and you can recap it, right? So with this, I'm concluding today's class. And tomorrow we work out few more problems. Then also we need to go for balance sheet, one problem or two problems. Then we can go for comprehensive problem where we are having both profit and loss account, balance sheet. That can be a lengthy problem, right? Thank you very much. God bless you all. We'll be meeting in the next class. In the meanwhile, I'm holding it for a few minutes for you to cross check this before I wind up the session. Working notes is important. That is what I'm writing here. Okay. This is 18 crores 75 lakhs. This is 18 crores 80 lakhs 61,000. Okay. So you can see this, and in the next class we work out few more problems, right? Thank you very much.